Hi, I'm Callie, and in this video, we're going to monitor reaction progress with TLC. This is the setup. We're going to do a synthesis of DHZ with crossed aldol condensation between vanillin and acetone. I'm setting up the eluting chamber. I'm using a 1-to-1 mixture of heptane and ethyl acetate as my solvent system. I'm adding just enough solvent to the chamber so that the level is below where my spots will be on the plate. If the solvent covers up the spots, they will dissolve instead of eluting properly. I also want the chamber to be saturated with solvent vapor before I put the plate in. If it's not saturated, the solvent will evaporate off the plate unevenly and it can distort the results. So that's why we add the filter paper and make sure we close the jar. To check on the reaction, I need to remove a small aliquot. That's just a tiny sample of the reaction mixture. I'm using a glass pipette with no bulb. I'm just dipping it into the vial, letting capillary action pull a small amount of the liquid up and transferring that into this test tube. So I'm rinsing that with reagent grade acetone. This will dilute the sample into a workable solution for spotting. The reaction mixture is basic and pretty concentrated, so diluting helps us have a clean spot for the plate. I'm spotting my plate with the standard vanillin on the left, the co-spot in the middle, and the reaction on the right. The co-spot is very important. We put both compounds in the same lane. If they're the same compound, they'll travel together and show up as a single spot. If they're different, you'll see separate spots. So it gives us a direct side-by-side comparison and confirms the identity. Now I'm spotting the reaction mixture on the right, still using a capillary spotter and making it as small as possible, and making sure to add it to the co-spot lane. So before putting the plate in the chamber, I like to check the spots under UV to make sure the plate looks okay. Now I'm using tweezers to place the plate into the chamber. I'm making sure it leans against the wall at a slight angle with the spotted end down. I also want to make sure that the spots are above the solvent line so that they don't just dissolve instead of eluting up the plate. So I've been watching my solvent front move up the plate. I want to remove it before it reaches the very top, leaving a few millimeters of margin. If it runs all the way off, I won't be able to accurately measure. So as soon as I take it out, I mark the line with a pencil because it will evaporate and start to disappear. So now we get to check our plate under UV again. Make sure to keep the pencil close so you can mark the spots. Now looking at the plate in the vanillin lane, I could see a spot of a certain RF, and the reaction lane I'm looking to see if that same spot is gone, reduced, or still present. If the reaction is complete, the starting material spot should be absent or nearly gone, and I should see a new spot corresponding to DHC, which will have a different RF than vanillin. This plate has a co-spot at the same RF as vanillin. In the reaction lane, I have one spot, but it's noticeably fainter, and this suggests that the starting material is being consumed, but there's still presence, so the reaction isn't fully complete. So I would add an additional 1 milliliter of 3 molar sodium hydroxide and continue stirring for another hour before rechecking.